What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Keeping It Real podcast, where every week we talk all things movies and TV. I'm your host, James. I'm joined by Jack and Calvin today to talk all about Venom. Let there be carnage. Did anyone else clap when Carnage said it in the movie?
No.
I did the Leo thing. Eddie Brock attempts to reignite his career by interviewing serial killer Cletus Cassidy, who becomes the host of the symbiote Carnage and escapes prison after a failed execution. So before we get started on this masterpiece of a film, I want to know what your thoughts were on the first Venom. What were you going into Venom 2 expecting? What were your hopes because of what the first film would set up, Jack?
Well, am I allowed to say? So, am I allowed to say now what I thought of this one, or am I just purely talking about the first one?
Do whatever you want.
The first one was absolutely swell. I was absolute garbage. It was too long for what it was. It was shit. I hated everything about it. I gained no enjoyment from the first one, literally whatsoever.
It's critical as always.
Well, yeah, it was a swill. I want to these kinds of films as well. I feel like it doesn't take much to buy me into them. Like all they had to do was produce a semi-coherent film, and I would have been like, yeah, that was pretty good. But I just came out of the first one thinking it was absolute tripe, and I'm now flustered.
I recently did the biggest 180 on the first Venom. I don't know why, something unlocked in my mind. I saw this film in a completely different way because, like you, Jack, I thought it was swill. For when did this come out? 2018. For 3 years, I've been on the Venom hate train, and then all of a sudden, I just looked at it in a way. I was like, this is completely ridiculous, and that's fine. For all the serious, like, interconnected stuff that we love, I've got the MCU, and we get about 15 movies a year in that, so I'm like, that's got that covered. So whenever they just plop a little stupid, ineffective film like Venom in the middle of them, I'm just all for it. So
from what I remember from the first one, I don't remember it being like purposefully silly in any way. I thought it actually took quite a serious tone.
I think Tom Hardy is the only one in the film who understood the ridiculousness of what they were doing.
No, but I think that's in his character. I think he's supposed to be like this, like neurotic character. So
yeah, but even like his choices with like the accent and stuff, I'm like, this is it's strange, and I think he's doing it on purpose.
The constant
the film
just always sweating.
But with the accent, the filmmakers will have quite a big input on what accent he's doing. They're not going to just let him go out there and do what he wants.
I don't know. I think Tom Hardy's he's a producer on this movie, so he's probably bigger than Ruben Fleischer was.
I think that point, I agree with your point on the second one being like more in that self-aware vein.
Yeah, they went for it.
The first one, because I think the first one was such a failure. Basically, like, I don't really know anyone that liked it apart from you now, who seems to think it's some sort of like secret masterpiece. When
I'm telling you,
yeah, fair enough. But yeah, but this one, people would. My expectations were so low because of the first one. Everyone was telling me how crap it was. And Jack hated it and you liked it.
Yeah.
So my automatic thought is, fair enough. I don't usually align with James. So I'm gonna go with Jack on this one. But then when I watched it, but it was probably because my expectations were so low that I actually enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it's a good film by any means, but
did you have fun?
I wouldn't say,
don't go back on it.
Fun. I wouldn't say fun.
It.
I think just the choice. Some like more narrative choices made sense than didn't. And I feel like for an hour and a half film, they actually used their time quite wisely, and they actually, surprisingly for me, gave more than at least two. Like they gave like 5 characters at least a semblance of like backstory and attempted that at least.
Yeah.
I was surprised that Stephen Graham's character was more involved.
Yeah,
than he possibly should have been. But yeah, there was obviously parts that I thought were just poor, but overall, I thought it was fine. I mean, you had Robert Richardson shooting it as well. He's done like all the Tarantino's and Scorsese stuff.
That's crazy.
You get decent cinematography with that. I feel like it was quite back heavy though for a film called Let There Be Carnage. I know it's like a play on
Not
words.
a ton of carnage.
Carnage, but it wasn't a ton of carnage in the sense of like, things,
mayhem.
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
He threw one car off a bridge.
Yeah, it was only like the last 20 minutes or so where Carnage really came to fruition. I was thinking through it, I was like, God, they still haven't introduced like how he's
yeah,
gonna become Carnage. But I did enjoy, surprisingly, like the first half of the film. Like I really enjoyed just the sort of bickering between the two. I think that was really well done.
That's what I think they've nailed.
Venom was a lot more sort of fully realized as a character in this, which I assume is thanks to like Andy Serkis' sort of work. I'm sure he had a lot to do.
They added a lot of detail to like the model of Venom and the face, when it's just sort of like coming out of.
Yeah, but even the voice, I thought sounded a lot better. It had a lot more personality to it.
Yeah, for sure. I love how they're all just like sort of eloquent but brutish at the same time. And because Carnage is sort of the same. And do we know if Woody Harrelson did his Carnage lines like Tom Hardy does Venom's? I hope he did. But yeah, I think like you said,
any lines anyway.
Well, yeah, but like you said, the film is like it's pretty back heavy. That's where a lot of like the plot comes into play. But that first half I just loved because I think they've nailed this central relationship between Eddie and Venom. And how they don't want to live with each other, but they have to. And like the whole apartment's a mess and they're fighting all the time. There's always holes in the ceiling. I loved all that. I just thought it was so fun.
Yeah, from a script point of view, I think that's the one thing they actually did like totally right.
Yeah.
Other things were okay, but I did feel there was a bit of like, like what's going on here? I don't know if his relationship between the relationship between Eddie and Cletus Cassidy was sort of like a reference to like In Cold Blood, Truman Capote sort of befriended that killer.
Yeah,
it felt very much like that.
Yeah, it was weird why there was Cletus suddenly thought there was. Oh, we'll go into spoilers now. By the way, it was weird how Cletus thought there was just this connection between Eddie and himself. But I guess was he just using that to like sort of get his message out?
Yeah, I thought it was a bit dumb. I don't know how Carnage is created in the comics, to be honest, but I thought it was quite dumb. He's able to bite him.
It is in prison. He shares a prison cell with Eddie, and just there's a bit of like an offshoot of Venom that goes on to Cletus. Yeah, so I actually liked it in this because Eddie, like Venom's constantly losing control, and he's trying to like rein it in, and he just loses it when Cletus says something about Eddie, and then that ultimately.
Yeah, but I just think like just consuming his blood could potentially give you like a symbiote. I know people don't do that on the norm, but if anyone finds out, then he's in for like a real bad time.
Yeah, I liked the disgusting. They really went in on how dark Cletus is by him just like licking the blood off his finger. He's like, I've tasted blood before, and that is not it. And then that leads into sort of. This was quite a ways into the film, wasn't it, when Carnage gets birthed?
It was basically the last half an hour or so.
Yeah, I liked the design of Carnage. I thought he looked scary. I think it was much more sort of identifiable in the action scenes as opposed to Riot was in the first Venom, where they both just looked like balls of grey gloop swashing into each other. It was a really bad design in that film, but I think they cleaned that up here. His prison scene when he's killing all the guards and stuff, I thought that was really cool. Other than when he turned into a tornado, I thought that was pretty weird.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's a bit a nod to the comics. I didn't really love the whole prisoners. They're just like cheering.
Why were they clapping?
Yeah,
there's a big monster.
Yes, they're killing the people we hate.
Oh, I guess like there's just this weird thing in this movie where people don't act like normal people. They see a big alien monster thing and they're just fine with it because Venom detaches himself from Eddie after a row, and he's just going from body to body. They're not surviving, and he ends up at this rave, and says, "I am, I'm coming out of the Eddie closet," which take that, however.
Definitely a reference to Scooby-Doo when Scooby's dressed up as a grandma in the airport. How is no one looking at that like it's a CGI dog?
Definitely a reference to Scooby-Doo. It's definitely a reference.
Yeah,
but everyone's just like, oh, cool costume. And I'm like, what? Where do you think we're at with, like, engineering cosplay? This is ridiculous. That's clearly a big alien monster.
His mouth's moving.
Yeah.
Perfect unison to what he's saying.
I love that scene though, because it's just, Venom thinks they're all cheering him on and going for him, which they do eventually do that when he gives his speech about, wanting to be free and wanting to be seen for what he is and not wanting to be hidden away by Eddie.
Was he killing all those people?
He was, yeah. So he protested about wanting to be this hero and only go after bad guys, but he did murder about four innocent ravers on the way to that party. So I mean, I guess his morals are a bit muggy. He's an alien. Yeah, I liked, because at the end of the first Venom, he's like, we'll only go after bad guys, but they use the events of the final film to be like, no, we can't be going out and just killing people because they're going to figure out it's us. She has to lock him, he has to keep him in the apartment and just eat chickens and chocolate. And he's not going for it anymore. What's in the brains in the chocolate? Phenylethyline or something? Phenylethyline.
Why do you think I said that was my takeaway?
I watched you during this movie. You were really paying attention.
You probably hear me every 2.5 minutes just
tutting.
Never happened.
Go on, Jack. Tell us what you thought about Venom.
Oh God, it wasn't quite swell.
On the way there.
Yeah, but I don't know. I've reflected on it a bit more. I still didn't really like it, but the bits that I did like as well, like kind of what Calvin said, like I like their relationship. Like I would watch a 90-minute film of those two in an apartment.
Just shouting at each other.
Because that was quite funny. But then like Naomi Harris, I don't know what direction she was given during this movie, or like
she's an incredible actress.
If she is, she really is. And then like I don't know if she just saw this as like it's a quick payday, 10 days work.
She's having fun.
Venom
is all about fun.
I wasn't having fun. What did she say? But I couldn't get over it after I watched it. It's like when they're trying to kill her. Like someone says, like, "Oh, he's going to kill you," and then she goes, "Like,
tried before.
Peeps has tried before," and then later was like, "You need to stop that. That is fucking awful." And then, and I just like she served I don't know. They wrote her in.
Well, she was like
end the film basically.
She was like the contingency, wasn't she? I quite liked that her power was that sort of shriek or whatever it is.
Yeah, I thought that was a really good idea.
Like they could have done a bit more with it. I thought, to be honest, that she was going to end up like seeing what it's doing to Cletus, and out of love for him, she was going to sort of screech Carnage off him or something. That's why. Yeah, that's why I sort of
crushed by a bell.
The opening scene as well.
Oh, why did they do this?
I almost fucking walked out.
Why did they layer Woody Harrelson and Naomi Harris's voice over these younger actors? We're clever enough to just go, to go along with, they probably sounded different when they were younger, because that's what movies do.
That opening scene gave me Malignant vibes, like the opening scene in Malignant.
Yeah,
it felt like I was watching that.
The cancer out.
Yeah, I was like, this is fucking terrible.
That is the one part of the film where I was like, you've not got me.
They were just bad actors, I think.
I was like, if this
but
is
just they're trying to sync it up with the other actors' voices. I'm like, why? Just have these actors use their own normal voices.
We can all accept that people were young once.
Yeah,
But
we've seen enough movies to just go along with that now.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I can tell by that man's ridiculous ginger hair that is supposed to be a young Cletus Cassidy.
Yeah,
I don't need you to give me Woody Harrelson's voice.
Right, so
who's like a 50-year-old man.
We should probably talk about the big end credit scene, which Venom's in the MCU, baby.
Before we
go
get
on,
to that,
sorry.
I have one more thing, which I thought was just really weird and out of like real left field. What was Stephen Graham thing about?
Oh, with his eyes
like
with his eyes glowing.
Mobius or Morbius?
No, he's basically, because this is all Venom can do is fight other symbiotes. So he just becomes another symbiote. He's the symbiote toxin. So
how does he become a symbiote?
Doesn't a bit of Carnage get on him?
Does it?
Oh, fucking hell.
I don't know.
I didn't see that.
So basically, symbiotes need to kill each other inside some kind of fucking vacuum.
That's because Venom's got no other bad guys. It's just let's make him fight another one of him.
But then that's so weird.
Why can't he fight anyone else?
Well, they can't put Spider. Well, they,
Yeah, okay.
Now they can put Spider.
Segue.
But like but I'm confused because, like surely Carnage, like when I was younger, the only two symbiotes that I knew were Venom and Carnage.
Yeah.
If they're planning to go like down like a trilogy, fuck me.
Why wouldn't you do Carnage last?
Why would you? Yeah. You've given us Carnage.
You've killed him.
Who the fuck is Toxin?
You got
who that is.
What's the big symbiote called? The one who created them all, the King in Black. What's his name? I can't remember his name.
No, I can't remember his name. Does it start with an F?
I think he's relatively new to
yeah, no, I know what he means.
But he looks really cool.
But yeah, all of that being said, Venom is in the MCU. How excited are we? Do we think he's going to appear in No Way Home?
Yes, Sinister Six, I bet.
Do you think he's the sixth member of the Sinister Six in No Way Home?
Yeah, I think because of the universe jumping, it looks to me, because like Venom licked the TV screen when he saw Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I feel like there's some sort of magic at play that when you get pushed into that universe, you revert back to something. You revert back to like thinking they're your enemies. It must be something to do with that.
Yeah, because it was a weird reaction.
Is there a Venom? Because is there a Venom that exists in Tom Holland's universe that hasn't come to fruition yet, and he's going to be an enemy of that Spider-Man? Is it something like that, like convoluted?
Yeah,
so when
I'm not sure.
It's why does Doc Ock as well see him as the same Peter, or the same Peter? You know,
I know that was a theory for a bit of if he looks, he sees Tom Holland, but he's seeing Tobey Maguire.
That would make the most sense.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they're going to do it. I hope he's in No Way Home. I hope he switches allegiances halfway through, teams up with a Spider-Man.
I want
Thomas Hayden Church back.
Oh, he's coming back. He's coming back. I'm telling you, he's back.
I don't know how Venom's going to work, because he is the tone of that film is so different to like MCU movies.
Yeah,
like I can't imagine if they do some like fucking lineup of the Sinister Six: Alfred Molina, Willem Dafoe, and then fucking Tom Hardy in a sweating mess, turning into fucking Venom.
God, I hope he's in it so much.
I just don't know. I feel like it, unless they like.
If he's in it, they've also got it to work.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like they need to somehow like, I don't know what, just like fucking, I don't know, give him some MCU pizzazz. Because I don't
keep him the same. I don't know. Keep him the same old sweaty same.
MC Unify. I don't know. They need to do something to like make him fit into like the world that they've created. Because
give him a cape.
I'm just not going to believe it.
Venom in a cape is what I want to see.
Like I don't want. Like imagine them all lined up and them all doing like their witty quips, and then Tom Hardy just goes like, "Oh shit, oh shit!" Like it's just weird. I don't know.
God, I love that Venom voice.
I'm excited for it in practice, but I just don't know how it's going to work, and it scares me.
Have faith in Venom. Right, so do we want to score this? Calvin, you can start us off.
Yeah, I'd give it a 3 out of 5. I think that's more than most people would give it, but I actually didn't see a massive problem with it. There were obviously problems, but I quite enjoyed it, I guess. I don't know how much I'd enjoy it on a rewatch. It's not something I'd be rushing to go and watch again. But yeah, I did enjoy it the first time around.
Jack?
I'm going to go for a 2. I just think, it's definitely better than the first one, because like the first one is one of the worst things I've ever seen. Absolute swell. But there wasn't enough for me. Like, the only bits I really enjoyed were like the comedy bits, which is like, even though it's like a good thing to have in like these movies, it's not what I go to these movies for. So yeah, definitely a 2.
I'm gonna go a 3.5. I had such a good time with this movie. I'm gonna go see it again this week. I love that, it's silly, it's ineffective, it's ridiculous. It doesn't matter. It's a tight 90. It knows when to leave the building.
Never heard that turn of phrase before.
A tight 90.
Do you want a tight 90? Is that something people strive for? I thought they were
Venom movie.
I thought they were.
But I don't go into a movie
famously floaty.
No, I don't go into a movie.
I just want to go. I want to go in and out. I want to have a laugh, and and then I just don't want to think about it again.
Is all you do for all movies. Like you walk.
Yeah,
in,
it's
essentially. Like I hope this is a tight 113, or I'm leaving.
Yeah, I hope
this better be a tight
128. All right, that's it for our review of Venom: Let There Be Carnage. If you're watching on YouTube, let us know what you thought of the movie in the comments. If you're listening audio only, then make sure to tell us your thoughts on the film on Twitter at Keeping It Real UK. From there, you can find links to all of our pages. Make sure you subscribe because we've got a few reviews coming out this week, so look out for them. Have a great week and keep it real.